But they don't do that with Chef Ramsay.
Mm-mm.
I think
Mm-mm.
good. I don't think
No,
you
no, no.
tolerate that.
No. Like when he goes to those restaurants and everything like that, I think those are real people. I think he's really doing that. But even though I think those are all real people and everything like that, and I don't think there's anything awry going, you can't tell me they don't fucking know he's coming.
No,
You can't tell me they don't
you're
know he's
killing
coming.
me. You're killing me.
Oh, hey there. How's it going there, Bluebeard?
Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm back to the Bluebeard, after half a year of just doing nothing.
Right.
I was like, all right.
So now do you make your own Bluebeard coloring?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It's a special mix of cobalt and sapphire blue.
Now you're yanking my chain.
No, I'm not. And the funny thing is when I usually go into my wife's hairdresser and she bleaches it, but I do the mixing of the colors because I know exactly how much of one and the others put together.
Right on. So you got the recipe and it's all up in here.
But today it's like I did my own. I've never bleached, so I just bought bleach and did it on my own and turned out good.
Good con. I like your look. We had a similar thing.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes. I don't even
my
remember
beard,
what these are. These are Ray-Bans, I think, or something. Oh, they're Oakleys.
Oh, well, those mine are some internet company. I know. Don't you hate it though? Your prescription looks similar to mine because I can tell. It's like you need glasses to find your glasses. You set them down somewhere. You're like, son of a, why did I set them down? Where are they? So you need the glasses to find your other glasses. I hate that.
I'm glad I'm not there yet.
Oh,
but these do have bifocals in them. So I pay the extra so I can see far and see close.
Yeah, I think you're like me though. They are kinder now, not bifocals, transitions.
Oh,
Transitional.
Transition. Yeah, it's like, it's bifocal.
Yeah.
Do yours tint as well in the sun? Do they go dark on you?
No.
Mine don't.
No, I had those. I had those, and I just got these a couple months ago, and I didn't get those this time because I ran into a huge problem when I go outside shooting with my camera.
Yeah.
They went dark. So when I'm looking through the viewfinder, I'm looking at something darker than it really is. It's like, so my photos were turned, I had to actually look at the exposure bar because I couldn't trust my eyes because it was just, dark. So I got rid of them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've seen that the big problem with those is that sometimes one will shoot out and the other one won't.
Oh, really?
So yeah, you'll just have one will be tinted, the other one will just be clear.
Yeah.
Like, what are you, a pirate?
Yeah, really. No, yeah. I originally had them in my first glasses. Then the second time they said there was a newer version that actually transitioned faster. So like when you're in a building and then you go outside. But it just for photographer, no. Yeah. It just messes everything.
Yeah, that
makes
But
you sense. Got good at your histogram.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
But now it's like but though I'm shooting mirrorless now. So basically what you see through the viewfinder is what your photo is. So there's no more, sitting there going, oh, I want, should have turned out okay,
Should have. Oh, so, hey Brian, do the intro. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is my microphone okay, volume wise and everything?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I got this iRig mic from, I don't even know what the company is, but anyways.
We're speaking to Mike Savoia here, who is a fantastically talented and incredible photographer in the event and rock world. And man, you shoot just about everybody. And I'm going to move on quickly, and I'll come back to you with my co-host, Jason Touchstone, and myself, Brian DeChristopher. And so, Mike, coming back to you, the first time I met you, I think, now I'd seen you, but the first time I actually met you and talked to you, I think was at Cane Fest.
Oh gosh, that's right.
And
Yeah,
you
it was
were,
Cane Fest.
yeah.
Where
and
was
you were
that, up
back,
in Arlington or no?
Mhm.
Was it
Yeah.
Arlington?
Yeah, it was up in
Ooh.
Arlington.
I was like,
And you were behind the stage and you were taking pictures of my amp. And so I walk up because I'm like, what's this guy doing? I think I recognize this guy, but I've never talked to him. But anyway, so then I find out that you're a massive Sabotage fan, which of course I'm a massive Sabotage fan. Then I find out you're a massive Loudness fan. Well, that's me too. So yeah, so then we've been friends pretty much ever since.
yep.
Yeah, and I think that's cool.
Oh, totally, man. There's like not too many Sabotage fans left. They all kind of went to TSO now.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Sabotage was a band that came from the Tampa Clearwater area of Florida, where I grew up and cut my teeth. And so I was friends with one of the guitar players, Chris. And so anyways, they became pretty much worldwide. I think it was Streets where they really started taking off.
Hall of the Mountain King. Because the Hall of the Mountain King is the one that really got them on the radar, MTV and the video and stuff. And
You're right.
Then after that, they, Gutter Ballet and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah. And then after that, Chris Caffrey, our pal Chris, joined around that time.
Yes.
Yeah. And really added a lot. But anyways, yeah, so then they came out here and Mike got to chauffeur them.
Well, it was Sabotage. That was you know what it was? It was the Ballard Firehouse show when the little bit of the riot that happened there, and the show ended only like 2 songs, and the band had to get out of there like really quick.
So now you were using, I'm getting a little bit cut out. That's totally on me. Here we go. I think I got it fixed now. All right. So you used to, if I'm correct, you used to use Canon cameras and you switched to Nikon. Is that true?
When I first started shooting film, my dad had a Canon whole setup. And so I actually used that for first couple years. Excuse me. And then I switched to Nikon and been with them ever since.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but to me, a camera is a camera. It's just kind of one reason you stay with a company is because you buy so many lenses. It costs way too much to switch,
Right.
So,
yeah, that's
what
true.
do you look for in a lens? Like its application. I guess it differs if you're doing promo shots or live action shots. Like, how do you determine, like, I need this lens right now?
Well, first off, you hope you have the lens in the bag. Don't forget it. But no, usually with photo shoots, stuff like that, it's usually 24 to 70 millimeters. Probably 90% of the time you're using that kind of a lens, and you might use a fisheye, something wider for other shots and stuff. But usually most photographers have the 24 to 70, and that's the main one. And then your 200 mil, 70 to 200. So those are the two lenses.
You have good seats then.
Yeah, what I call my seats at shows? -0. I'm in row -0.
Right. But now your -0 that a lot of people don't know only lasts for about 3 songs, yes?
Most of the time, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you have to capture everything you get in that 3 songs.
Yep.
But now I had a question for you. Do you ever feel like you got, let me choose my words carefully. Do you ever feel like you got slighted? Because like, do you think that the band is going to come out and really kick ass those first 3 songs so that you get the best visuals, or are they going to stretch it out over the whole thing and then you're like going, "Fuck, I wish they did that when I was."
Yeah, there's been numerous times. You do your 3 songs, you start walking to the back, and all of a sudden, magically, more lights appear, and other cool stuff to view. And
Why was everything red?
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's certain bands that do that,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know why. Why would you want photos that are dark, it makes no sense to me. It kind of irks me, and a lot of other photographers. You go in there, shoot your 3 songs, go out there, and then all of a sudden the show starts, basically.
Right. Yeah, you're right. And it seems counterproductive for such a visual oriented market, right?
Exactly. It's like, why would you want photos out there being posted, especially nowadays with the internet, being posted out there, not as good as what people really saw.
So some bands just nip it in the bud and they bring people like you along, like Journey.
Yeah, and then I tell them, don't give them any light for the first 3 songs, and then when no.
That's awesome.
No. There's nothing ever like that.
Yeah, there's no underhanded stuff. Yeah.
What is happening with COVID going on with so many bands not touring? Are you doing nature photography more now? Or
Yeah.
How do you really?
Yeah, there's like, with the music stuff, there's really, nothing going on right now, especially for the bands and stuff. And everybody's just kind of doing what they're doing. The bands are creating new albums. I mean, there's a billion new albums coming out. And just people are just trying to stay busy in any way they can, get through it. And then sounds like things are going to start opening up again. Here in Washington, I think today they announced they're going to go to phase 3.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good sign. And then I heard the president say that all adults will have access to a shot May 1st. So if that's the case and people are going to do it, this summer might be kind of a little bit back to norm.
Have you hired out your ability to edit photos, or people like, since you're not taking them out, you're a mad editor?
Yeah, I've been doing just regular stuff like that. It's the only thing you could be doing. But to keep my my eye and focus and stuff, I mean, you just got to go out and shoot. Doesn't matter what it is.
It's a tree skill.
Yeah, it's the tree, the birds, whatever it is.
Right. And then you were an event photographer for KISW.
Yep.
And then on top of that, on your own freelance, you go and you do a lot of events, and you do the Monsters of Rock cruise, but that's through KISW, yes? Or is that on your own?
No, that's totally separate. Yeah, that's totally separate.
Okay,
Yep.
so that's another.
Yeah.
So when something like this hits, of course, it wipes out your whole industry. I mean, you're getting hit many times.
Yep, totally. Especially with the cruises. I mean, that's that was one of the first things to go.
And so what is your job on a cruise? Or is it they're doing live shows and you're capturing that, or is it
like
posing with stars?
Yeah, like the cruises that I work, there's usually 20 to 50 bands on a cruise. And so basically you're out there 5 to 7 days. Each day there's 12, 15 shows in the theater, on the pool deck, or if we're on an island, sometimes on the island. And yeah, all kinds of stuff goes on. So basically I'm running around like like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to get photos, at each event. I try.
Mhm.
And we have other photographers on the cruise too, because there's no way I could cover everything by myself. So
Right.
I imagine it's kind of chaotic though, yes.
yes, it is very very chaotic.
So
'Cause
for an event like
you have
that,
your little sheet, their schedule sheet, and you're just constantly looking at it, running to here, running there.
and you're
Keeps you
burning through your memory cards.
um if you shoot crazy, but I don't. I pretty much know specifically what I want to go in and get, and I try to keep it to a minimum, because at the end of that kind of day, there's no way you want to be going through
Mhm.
thousands of photos.
I was going to ask why the switch to mirrorless.
Well, the number one thing for me is what you see through the viewfinder is what you're going to get exposure wise. So it's pretty much a live preview of what you're shooting, and it makes life so much easier, because you could sit there and on a split second, with light, concert, photography, lights change so quick that you can just flip a dial while you're looking through your viewfinder and expose it more or less right on the spot. And mirrorless, the clarity is so much better than regular DSLR, which the mirror, basically you're capturing the image by the mirror flipping, exposing it to the sensor. With mirrorless, there's none of that. It's no motion, so basically it's on the sensor.
Do you miss that satisfying clunk of the mirror moving?
No, not at all. And plus too, with mirrorless, it feels like it's half the weight in my hand.
Not as much mechanics in there, huh?
Yeah. I mean, there's more. I mean, it's more sophisticated, the computer and the camera. But it's just, I won't go back.
And your lenses translated over?
Yes, and that's the other thing too, is like with the Nikons, they have an adapter, so I can use my old lenses on the mirrorless camera, which saves lots of money.
Yeah, no doubt.
But then the other thing too, though, is with mirrorless, the lenses themselves that you can connect direct to the camera are a lot more expensive.
And when you take these photos, who has the final say on what happens to them? The client, or there's some you're like, I'm not turning this over, it's too good.
That totally depends on what the job is, and who's doing it. Like let's say I shoot a show, I'm gonna go through and edit and show whoever those photos. Most likely they're not going to see the rest of the bad stuff. So I give pretty much the first say.
Okay.
And on a different side of your question, Jason, now so people can hire you to go shoot an event for them, that's what I do with you sometimes. Is a client will come through and, hey, you're gonna be at the show, you want to get in there and take some shots for me, and then of course, if I pay you for that time, then I can use those photos to put on catalogs or put online, all that kind of business. But if I want to be a shrew and just try to steal JPEGs that you post on Facebook, that kind of makes me a dick. But
yeah, but it's only 72 dots per inch, so it's like
you can only use some.
Yeah, you can only do so much until it pixelates.
I'm curious too, how do you determine saturation? Is this shot going to be better in black and white? That's so much creative decisions. It's almost more than music, and so many tools are available. How do you do that?
Oh boy. I mean, I've been doing it for so many years. It's like I'm kind of you see the photo and you just know right off the bat. You just know that coloring, let's say it's a color photo, you know that if you go black and white, that thing is just going to pop out. And,
Wow.
and you try it, with the software we have now, it only takes 1 second to view something, either, black and white or color, or this certain filter that I use, just in Lightroom. That's what most of us use is Lightroom. And so it makes it a lot easier to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to look at this, look at that, and then choose and go with it.
So you don't necessarily take a photo and think, I know that's going to be good in black and white. It's when you see, like when you're in the moment, are you making those considerations?
No. When I'm shooting, I'm not thinking anything like, oh yeah, that's going to be black and white or this certain filter or whatever. I'm just in the moment trying to get that shot.
Wow. I'm sorry. And Brian, I think I interrupted one of your points.
Oh, it's okay. So, it didn't mean that much. So, no. Okay, so when you're in a shoot, though, do you find that you spend, let me see if I can word this right. Do you think it takes as much or more talent in the shoot than it does in production afterwards? Do you spend an equal amount of time and effort, would you say?
Yeah, I would say it's both.
Okay.
It's both.
Because you really got to know the software, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
To really bring out your imagery.
Yep. And, and then over the years, I've created my own little filters and stuff like that, or signature kind of stuff. And there's times you take a photo and go, oh yeah, that's going to be for that.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, no. When you're shooting, I'm in the zone. So it's like no thinking. It's just pretty much shoot, and then worry about it later. You might look at your, what they call chimping, and look and see how the photo is.
Mm-hmm.
But most of the time, when you're in the zone, you're just there shooting.
And Brian and I were having, go ahead, Brian.
I was gonna say, then you go back to the hotel room and go through all your stuff until 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, no. It depends after a gig. No, usually, depending on if you're just posting it, like if I was just doing KSW or something, it's going to be 15, 20 shots. So it's real easy to go through real quick, get the good shots, edit, done. If it's somebody like, when I'm out on the road journey, it's going back to the room and it's like, okay, I usually for a journey show, I'm usually between 60 to 90 shots for a full show that I, finish editing.
Mm-hmm.
We were having a discussion about how much swag you've probably acquired. And Brian is saying you probably stay away from the swag.
No, not that he doesn't stay away from it, but that he acquires it himself on his own dime, not necessarily being gifted to him by the bands.
You're right, because I buy stuff, the bands that I love. I buy the stuff like right here. I bought that. Long sleeve. I like supporting the bands. And of course, when they give me free stuff, yeah, that's great and all. It's great, but I like supporting. I mean, when me and my wife go out and go to a show, we've had a couple times where friends are like, oh, well, CD or something, and Steph will go, no, we're gonna give you the $10, help support, because these bands are on the road and that's all the money they're really making anymore. Is touring and merchandise.
And do you sell your work
Yes.
to the public, like you'll have a showing or something, or is it off your website?
Not so much, yeah, not so much to the public, because a lot of bands are not really positive about you selling photos
Of them.
of them. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because then you become basically a paparazzi kind of in their view, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But now they will pay you, they will hire you to do work directly for them, to capture for them, so that they can sell those images to magazines. Yes.
Yes. You know, are you talking like catalog, like the guitar companies and stuff like that?
Yeah, when you're dealing with retail product, I would imagine that
Yep.
would exactly be the case.
Yeah.
But with celebrity, how does that work?
Let's see here. I got a little thing popping up on the screen. Oh, there it goes. Well, basically, with that, you would send them a gallery, and they can go through the gallery and kind of choose which photos they want, and then depending on who it is, what it's for, then you figure out a deal.
Right. And then once they purchase those images, they can do whatever they want with them.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
At least I try making it as easy doing that.
Now, have you ever had somebody, now I don't want any names because we don't want to call anybody out, but have you ever had somebody like you go and you shoot them and then they take the image off your Facebook and then try to submit it to a magazine or something and don't give you any credit? No.
No, not that I can think of off the top of my head. I mean, they may have used a crop version of it, but it's nothing like I said, on the internet, you just can't grab a photo and go to a magazine and have it print, because it's just not.
It's gonna be terrible.
Yeah, you need 300 dots per inch. That's what they need, and the web does not give you that.
Right. But software does.
Yeah, true. And it's funny you said that, because I'm just waiting for that software. I'm sure it's out there where you can take something. You have it where you can change it from 72 to 300 dots per inch?
Yes. But there's still limitations.
Is there?
And I won't name the product because I don't believe in doing that. I don't want to make them money. I had to pay for it. But I'm being a graphic designer and stuff, there's certain plugins I'll use and certain ones I'll avoid. But that one was really good because it allowed me, when dealing with clients, if they submit imagery, like many do, would be a Word document, and it's got a PNG sitting in it. It's worthless. You can't use that PNG for anything except for another Word document, right? So what you have to do is you have to take that image, extract it out, bring it into Photoshop, open it into this program, enlarge it, and then you can basically get a facsimile of what it would look like at 300 ppi. But yeah, it's tricky. It's tricky.
Yeah.
Do you ever print out any of the photos and hang them in your house?
Oh yeah. I have this little wall here, and I have some frames and some prints that I need to hang up, but it's just like, how do you just putting it up on the wall nice is kind of the hard thing. So, but no, I got a couple. Let's see here. Oh, here, I'll grab one right here.
He's reaching into a crowd.
Oh, you know what? The green screen is actually not showing it. Let's see if I can do it. See if I can get shape to it. It is weird, isn't it? I don't know why it's not showing it. You know what it is? It's probably because there's a coloring in the photo that's acting like a green screen.
Yeah.
So, that's a bummer. But yeah, I got Shanker. I got Billy Idol one. My Queensryche promo. So it's gonna be cool when it's all done.
Oh, there was a shot you did with Queensryche. And gosh, I wish I could explain it. It looks like it's in a hangar. Is that what it is? It's in a hangar?
No. You know where that's at? It's the underground bus tunnel.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. It was it's amazing going down in those tunnels and seeing the different architecture they have down there.
Mhm.
But yeah, the photos that you're talking about, there's another one. I don't know if you're talking about the one where it has the yellow kind of roof. It looks Matrix. There's that one, and then there's another one where you're talking like the gray kind of roof hangar.
Yes,
Yeah. Those are the underground bus tunnels.
Very cool. Yeah. 'Cause I
Did
saw
you
those
choose the
pictures.
location?
Yes, I did. Because I showed them. I was like, check this out. And they're like,
For most of your shoots, you
yes.
choose?
Yeah.
Now you
Hmm.
find out you'll scout places,
Mhm.
and then you'll have a person in mind for them, right?
Mhm.
And you'll go like, this is going to be perfect for this person, and I'm going to suggest it to this person.
Yeah, depending on the location and what it is. You know, you're either going to have your rock, your metal, or your country.
Right. It's going to be a train track, a brick wall, or a canyon.
Yeah. We'll try to stay away from all that. Yeah. The norm.
Right.
It's like the client, you know, like, really, you want another railroad track for your country acoustic guitar thing? Like, no, you gotta do something different.
We'll put a silo in there.
How many cameras do you travel with? Instead of swapping out a lens, I imagine.
Yeah,
you
usually
just-
two, like for live shows, traveling 2 bodies. Always got to have 2 bodies at least.
And there's
one-
already a lens attached to both?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you don't want to be swapping out.
No.
Do you ever think you're gonna swap to like an iPhone? Why are you using mirrorless and not like your camera phone?
It'd be nice if it was just an iPhone. Yeah, because carrying equipment around is a pain. It's funny you say that though, because I had a post yesterday on my Instagram where I had this photo of this tiny DSLR that was in the palm of my hand. And I actually said in the post, I said, one of these days we're going to get to this point where we're going to, you know, technology is going to catch up and we're just going to have this little device. And then after I typed all it out, all of a sudden I thought to myself, wait, what am I talking about? We have the iPhone. We already have it. It's getting to a point where those are taking pretty good pictures, but they can say whatever they want to say. It's never going to replace a DSLR sized sensor.
Mhm.
Are you more of a fan of the sensor or the glass?
Both.
Equal love affair.
Yes, equal love affair. 24 megapixels. It's perfect. That's like the perfect size. Then you know, your glass is your glass, depending on how much you spend on it.
Yeah, I imagine swapping over to. Well, do manufacturers make? Can you mount a Canon lens on a Fuji? Like, there's probably some way to translate that.
Well, yeah, I mean, they have like the adapters, but a lot of cameras you can't do that yet. I mean, I assume one of these days they're gonna have it where you can use any lens on any camera body, but every company has its own mounts, designs, and stuff, so it ain't happening anytime soon.
Proprietary on purpose.
Yes. Oh, totally.
Yeah. So okay, so now you work with people like Anthrax and obviously Garbage and
Oh, yes.
Disturbed and people like that. That was fun.
Yes.
That was a fun show in general.
Oh, the Disturbed was that was a blast.
I was telling Jason before you came on about how there was maybe 20 people in the whole venue after we had done the photo shoot with Mike. And they go into their sound check and Dan Donegan starts kicking into the loudness too.
Oh,
Remember
that's
that?
right.
And you were wearing
That's
the
right.
loudness sweatshirt.
Oh, that's right. I had my loudness sweatshirt on. That's right.
Yeah, like he must have seen it. He was
Oh yeah, totally. He was totally like, yeah, yeah, that was awesome. Yeah, that, that was pretty incredible to think that we did that shoot and everything in the show box.
Right. And we only had like what, 10 minutes?
Yeah, 10 minutes, and we're just like, thank goodness those guys were so cool, and in his light dude. The light crew, oh, they were so
they
good.
fired
Like,
up everything for us. Yeah.
Yes, they were like, give us this, give us that, give it, and bam. And the best was though is the finished product. Mike seeing it, going, wait, what? Yeah, that was a great shoot.
Yeah, he was really excited about that.
And then our second one at White River, that was a blast too, because he had the was that a new set? No, you had the new wraps on it.
Mm-hmm.
At the White River one. So
yeah, because the one at the prior shoot was the crumble.
The crumble,
yeah, and then this one was the DNA.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. The DNA. That's right.
Yeah. And by the time we got to shoot it, it had already been through, gosh, half the tour. So all those flash pods have been burning the shit out of those shells and everything. And so Nick was asking me, he's like, man, how do I get rid of those little burn marks? You don't?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't melt off.
Yeah, they held up really well.
That Disturbed show at the White River, I couldn't believe how much fire they had going behind Mike. I was just like, wow.
Yeah, that was crazy. But yeah, but
we did. I'm surprised he still had facial hair, after that show.
Right. That's why it's all in the front.
No, exactly. Yeah, nothing in the back or the top.
But now, with all the people that you shot, is there anybody that you haven't that you definitely would love to?
Rammstein. I would love to shoot those guys. Maybe
so you
next
haven't
time.
shot them?
I have not shot them. They had like contracts before that I wasn't too keen on.
Right. I heard about that.
So kind of passed it up myself. I mean, I could have shot him, but I just didn't want to do that. Rammstein, that's my top one because of how much theatrical fire those guys have, and it's so big. I mean, the show's just insane. Like the last time they played the Tacoma Dome, I was just, my jaw was on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking how much that production costs for each show.
Right. Yeah, just pyrotechnics alone.
Yeah, and I can't even imagine, obviously they have to have the fire marshal come out and okay it.
Mm-hmm.
And I would actually like to see the reaction of a fire marshal coming out and seeing their sound check, to show the fire, right, and see their face like, what? Because nobody in the world does what they do on stage. Yeah,
you'll recall, Jason, when we saw him. I took Jason to see Rammstein because I hadn't seen him, and I was like, well, I want him to go with me,
Yeah.
So we go, and what a spectacle. I mean, that show was amazing. I think we were both kind of gobsmacked. And when dude walks out with the big wings,
the angel wings.
Yeah, oh, man, it's just incredible.
Imagine how much fuel, whatever the heck they use for all the fire each night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and knowing they got to know their marks because that's totally fast, man.
Yeah, I'm sure if you had a map of the United States, you could see their tour line because they're like low on fuel in this state and the next state.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would be good.
Yeah.
That'd be a good shoot. Oh man.
And your love affair of fire doesn't stop at Rammstein. Our research shows you like Godzilla.
Totally.
You're looking forward to the new
my whole life.
You looking
yes,
forward to
I'm looking forward to this next movie later this month. But I'm in the bind of, I don't know if I'm going to get tickets for the movie theater, or I'm going to have to go and do the HBO trial deal they have and see the movie that way.
Right. Well, the
But-
So
privacy
do
of
you-
your own home is always a benefit,
Yeah.
because then you can eat anything.
Yeah, but it depends on how big your TV screen is.
That's true. Because it's Godzilla and King Kong, which means
Yes,
it's got to be
you
a
need it.
big TV.
Yeah, I need the big screen.
Yeah, it's not going to work on a little 13-inch. Watch it on your iPhone.
Oh no, yeah, really.
Yeah, I today, just in anticipation, I watched Destroy All Monsters.
Ah.
And I learned that Godzilla, how do you feel about Godzilla adopting a little dinosaur? That storyline is weird to me. And the little character Milana or
Oh yes, so you're talking about like Monster Island.
Manila.
Yeah,
Yes,
they had a different name. They had two names for that movie, but like Monster Island, and that was a little kid that was getting bullied, and he would dream up the things, and then in that movie, Godzilla had his son, which looked like a little Pillsbury,
It
doughboy,
does.
the doughboy. It didn't look anything like Godzilla. You're like, okay.
Well, what is interesting though is the photography, just kind of the ideas, something as a professional like that, you've got to be in awe. It's like listening for Brian, listening to a really amazing guitar solo. Like some of the technology of the time and what the content they're capturing is really quite amazing.
It's crazy to think the technology of these movies. Sometimes you just sit there and watch going, how long did it take them to do this?
One thing I did notice is none of the buildings had paperwork or tables on the inside. There's nothing inside the buildings, but that's part of the charm. But I imagine a photographer like yourself, you see some of these shots and it's tough. There's no way to not think about, my God, the hours behind.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a one-off. Like if they don't do it right the first time, I imagine they're not going to spend the money to try it again.
Yeah, so I think what you're talking about is the old Godzilla movies where they actually had to make the sets.
Yes.
The human size. So the guy in the suit would actually stomp through the city of a real, they built it. Mm-hmm. And yeah, totally. Like they mess up and he falls on the wrong building or or the wrong explosion goes off. Well, you could blow half the city up accidentally and have to redo it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have shots like that where there's pyrotechnics and you have to coordinate, this is going to flash now and the smoke is going to happen at this moment and I'll capture it right at this point?
There'll be shows that I know there's theatrics like that. And what I'll do is maybe go on YouTube or something and just kind of get an idea in my head of what's going to happen. But a lot of times you could do that and go to the show and your brain's just not going to think that way. It's not going to be like, oh yeah, that, because there's so much going on. But it's more exciting to be kind of shocked seeing it and capturing it.
I saw there was some, I'm sorry, there was some poor photographer didn't the Queens of the Stone Age guy kick the photographer in the head?
Yeah, I think that, there was a situation where there was a photographer in the pit and he just, I don't know exactly what the deal was, and he kicked the camera and I think it was a lady and it hit her in the head or something, and I don't know if she sued him or what, but I don't know really what the situation was. but no matter what it was, really, no musician should be doing that.
Like you don't fear for your gear when you're working with talent, obviously. You
When
don't
I'm
think, oh my
shooting
gosh, I'm
Marilyn
gonna get
Manson, I do.
kicked.
He's fun to shoot, and you got to watch yourself. He's kind of crazy.
Little animator.
Yeah, he throws stuff, bits, the whole bit.
Brian, you had a question and I stepped on you. Sorry.
You know, that's okay. It went with the ether.
Oh,
But yeah, so we had talked about, like, if you could shoot anybody, you chose Ramstein would be your one. But people that you have shot, what would you say would be the best act that you have shot with the best experience?
Best experience. Kiss. I like the theatrical stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those are always going to be my favorite. If you got a big show, I want to shoot it because it's more visual for a photographer to be capturing and stuff. Slipknot. I mean, those shows are just crazy. You never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, there's a lot of eye candy going on.
Yeah. There's the word right there, eye candy.
Yeah. Right.
Does the band ever tell you to take photos of the crowd? It's like, dude, also go grab the crowd photos. Is that
I always do.
Thing?
I always love taking shots of the crowds, no matter if I'm, shooting for myself or a band or whatever.
So now there's.
Are you able to get on?
Are you able to get on what?
On stage to take the photo of the crowd, or you just sort of hold it over your head?
Like the photo behind me?
Yes.
That I shot that one from backstage, from the stage in the back. And I think it's either Madison Square Garden or the Forum, I think. Can't remember. I have to look at it. But yeah, those are the best, because I love doing views that most audience people don't get to see.
Especially if you get to get behind the band during performance and totally. That kind of a view.
Yeah. I don't even know if I moved to the side here. If you see, there it is.
Who is the band?
There we go. See, there we go, right there.
Who's the talent?
Yep. So that's just the bow shot.
Who is
the band?
Oh, Journey.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, when you said Madison Square Garden, I figured it was probably Journey that you were talking about. I was going to ask you about when you go on the road with Journey, do you get to spend a lot of time with Neil on one-on-one, just shooting him and documenting what he's doing, or?
Yeah, during sound checks and stuff, we usually all get to the venue early, hours before, and Neil especially, because he loves goofing around with all his guitar effects or new guitars that he gets and stuff. So he'll go early and just jam for hours before anybody else gets there. So it's so that is cool for me, and to get there and just kind of get those documenting shots that most people don't see.
Okay, well, I got another question for you. So if somebody was to say an act was to book you, what could they do to best prepare for having you come out to shoot them?
Just be themselves.
Okay.
Which most do. They're not gonna do anything different just because somebody's coming out and shooting, unless it's for certain, let's say they're wanting a live album or something, some kind of those kind of shots. Then there might be some planning going on with that. But Most of the time, it's just show up, shoot away.
So give us a story of a shoot that you did where something just went completely freaking awry.
Oh dear.
A shoot that went completely awry.
The band was drunk. There were hookers.
No, the only
Someone was
show-
struck with a weasel.
he struck with a weasel. No, the only really seriously, the only really show that I've ever was like, oh my god, was when Slipknot played White River, and the drummer got sick before the show, and they had to cancel. And so they were going to go out and announce that this, they were going to play. And I was just kind of like, yeah, we should probably get out of here now, just in case.
You were already down in the pit, ready to shoot
Yeah,
when that happened.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that'd be a dangerous place to be if everybody rushed the stage and you get crushed.
Yeah, with the Slipknot fans, they're a little crazy. But yeah, that show was definitely get to your car quick
Right.
kind of feeling.
Well, aren't they all called maggots? Isn't that
Oh
what
yeah,
they're called? Yeah.
yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah, but they're man, they have a lot of energy in their shows. I mean, they definitely put on a show.
Oh,
They don't-
physically,
Yeah.
for many of the members in the band, it's pretty grueling.
Mhm.
When you figure you're wearing those costumes, the masks and the outfits, and running around each night doing that, it could be physical. And I think I've seen it in interviews too. I think all of them have said that. That's like, how much longer can they do this?
Mm.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I still look at it. I mean, Kiss being my first band ever of being into. I mean, definitely not the first rock I ever heard, but definitely the first rock band I ever got into, where I put every square inch of my bedroom wall was covered with something Kiss. But when you go to a show like that, I mean, like what you were saying, shooting it, you go to shoot a band like that, then something smaller doesn't, it's not there. You know what I mean? I don't know how to really, it's kind of like getting in a really super fast fucking car and then you have to get back in your little Hyundai to go to work the next day. It's just, it's just not there anymore. Yeah. I mean, because you've seen something so extreme and so great and so awesome. And then it's like, man, everything is just kind of small after that,
Yeah. I still love my favorite is definitely the smaller clubs, even though, it's shows can't be as spectacular as obviously as an arena or stadium, but just the energy inside a club, those are like the real fans. You get to the bigger shows, it's kind of you have your fans and you have your others just showing up with their friends or whatever. But club shows, those are fun to shoot.
And you've never shot anybody that you just walked away from going, man, why the hell was I even here?
Off the top of my head, I say no, but I know there is. I know there is.
It'll come to you at about 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, exactly. I'll text you at 3 a.m. I remember what it was.
So now, okay, so a question would be, for other photographers, how could they best respect your space when in the pit?
Well, first off is I'm always thinking equal. It's like nobody's better than anybody else. If you're in the pit with the camera, you're there for a reason. You're shooting for someone or whatever.
Right.
So and so in that point is basically just look out for others. We're all bumping elbows and stuff, and try not to get in front of other people, when they're shooting. And if you have some kind of shot in your head, you need to maybe raise your camera for a second, always look back, make sure there's nobody back there shooting behind you. And if there isn't, do it quick, get it done with. But don't think you're the only one in the photo pit.
Right.
And that, you won't last long.
Right.
People will let you know. You'll learn once.
Probably with a lens in the back of the head.
Depending on what they do.
Right.
Nah, they just get a little tap on the shoulder, it's like, what,
Right.
don't do that.
So now on your own time, you and your wife Steph have go out and you look for geodes, is that correct?
Yeah, she basically got into the whole rock thing, and then I got interested in it. And yeah, we were going out there for some weekends and definitely trying to find crystals and all that stuff. It's fascinating that you could actually,
that it's just there. Yeah.
Yeah, you could actually go there and dig in dirt and find this stuff.
But how do you recognize, like, because I've seen some of the stuff that you find is it just looks like a round brown rock, and then you bust it open, it's got all those gems or the crystals.
Yeah, it's got all that stuff, and then you'll find crystals, but you need to clean it up when you get home with solution and stuff, and then that's when it really, the crystal clear stuff, and you're just like, wow, this thing was actually in the dirt for thousands of years.
Right. Wow.
Is there a value to these finds?
Depending on what you find, yeah. Because some of these rocks, you'll go into like this certain stores that sell it and stuff, and you'll find some stuff going, oh, I love this, and then you'll see the price, and you're like, oh. Then you'll find you'll find the little history on the rock and where it comes from, and and a lot of these awesome looking rocks, there's only like one place in the whole world they've ever found them, and so they mine it from that area, and then by the time it gets here in the United States, it's a pricey little piece.
Right.
Are rock hunters a lot like mushroom hunters? I know mushroom hunters do not share where the best mushroom hunting is. I imagine is rock hunting the same way?
I would say yes and no. I think more, if you go onto YouTube, there's a lot of people that are posting videos of like, hey, I found this here or that. But yeah, I'm sure there's some really good locations. People aren't going to give that information away.
And how do you determine where you're going to go look?
Word of mouth of locations.
So you don't go by geological structuring or any type of like, oh, there was a volcano here or anything like that.
No, I'm not that far into it.
Are you just staying local?
Pretty much I listen to Stephanie. It's like, okay, she says that location's good. Okay, we're going.
And does she just go by word of mouth, and she just looks it up and like look up online, where people find stuff? And
no, she belongs to like some groups and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so there's a lot of information passed on in those groups, photos and stuff. So
are you making jewelry out of it, or is it like you have
she makes amazing jewelry out of some of it.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
And does she sell it at like markets and stuff like that, or
not yet? Well, she has, but I like to see her do it a little more. You got to set up a business and everything, business license and all that stuff.
Yeah.
You get it set up. But yeah, she does pretty awesome work with it.
Right on.
I imagine it's not like you try to make things out of clay and it's like, well, here's another ashtray. It's
no.
Like no, so when she does it, it's all in. Wow, that's awesome. For me, it'd be like, here's another keychain.
Yeah.
Was going to be earring. No, it's a keychain. No, sorry, go ahead.
Well, I say it's crazy because the wire and everything around the rocks. I mean, it's just so my fingers are too big. You know, it's like I don't have that the tiny fingers to do that kind of stuff. I mean, I have a hard enough time building Legos with my sausage fingers, you know. Sometimes I have to say, can you put this together? Because I just cannot do it.
I love that there's instead of people walking on fire, now they're like pits, people walking on a distance on Legos.
Oh yeah.
How you stepping on them over there?
No, we're not.
Oh,
All more like the kids are out of the house, so there's no way, no Legos are all laying around the house anymore.
I didn't know you have your children are out of your house, you said?
Mm-hmm.
I've got to ask, did you set up any of your children for like their yearbook photo with the awesome neon backgrounds? I
No.
loved those. And oh no,
No.
you could think of the, oh, I just love those shots, man. That's what children are for. You're supposed to make them sit there while you abuse the neon.
Well, I mean, my one time I did buy this pumpkin was huge, and I stuck my daughter, and she was probably like 6 months, maybe. And I stuck her in the pumpkin, sitting in the pumpkin, and I put the top of the pumpkin, you know, the cutout on her head. It's one of our favorite shots ever.
Oh man, I'm sure
But that was back in 1999. So I assume if I did something like that today, I would get thrown in jail probably for child abuse or something. That's the way the world's going.
Or you were the
It'd
one
be
that
a
actually, you might have been the one that started the trend of that other photographer that puts like the baby in the flowers and stuff.
Yeah.
The calendar. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They saw your work and then they started off.
Yeah. Yeah. They say, hey, if you could stick her in a pumpkin, I can do this.
Yeah. I'll put him in a teacup.
Yeah. I personally,
So original.
yeah. Personally, I don't like those.
Yeah.
It's just too, yeah.
It's silly and contrived.
It's silly. It really is. I mean,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, like it's a pea pod, you know, it's like, nah. Can you imagine your kid, you know, 20 years later sees that saying, you did this to me?
that was me.
Well, that's the photo you show their prom date to humiliate your child, right?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Here's my child in in the school play being a squash.
Yeah.
It's like, Dad, geez. Well, what are you? Are you like Brian, or are you a fan of firearms?
I'm a fan of firearms, but I don't have any. I don't know.
That's not a bad dig. That means like the world's your oyster. You can just go rent whatever you want.
Yeah.
No commitment.
Yeah. There's no. With that, I'm not against any of it. You know, it's just like so personal choice. You know.
Right. Right.
And
that's an adult way of looking at it.
Yeah, you know, it's like everybody's got their own responsibility and stuff. And you know, lately I've thought about it, you know, about getting maybe a concealed weapon permit or something like that. But it sounds like there's a shortage of like guns and ammo.
Brian created that shortage.
Is that what it is? It's all over your place.
It was me.
Yeah.
It was me. Yeah. No, but you're right. There is a little bit of a shortage. And hopefully it'll end soon.
Yeah. And why is that a shortage of the ammo? Just because there's so many people just randomly going out buying now because of the way the world is? And
pretty much. Yeah, if you listen to the manufacturers, that's their answer. That they're making the ammunition is just being sold out. And I
Yeah.
believe that because, when I go into the
Yeah.
store, they stock up on Thursday, you step in there Friday morning, there's nothing left. So somebody's buying it all,
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I don't think there's any kind of conspiracy or anything kind of weird going on or anything like that.
Yeah.
I had read that certain things, I don't believe things that I read. I tend to think it's probably supply and demand, and they're
Yeah.
not being able to keep up, because the raw
Yeah.
materials aren't there. I mean, a lot of your companies are having to repackage. So they're taking spent brass and then repackaging it as new product, even though it's already been used once or
Oh,
twice.
really?
Yeah.
Huh.
And
So
because
recycled.
it's just recycled shells. And
Wow.
you can use brass, from what I understand, you can use it 2 to 3 times before it loses its integrity, and then you have to just break it down and start over. But I think brass is one of those materials that you can resmelt over and over and over again. It doesn't lose its strength, right? I think that's the case, and that's why that would be why they would use brass for all these centuries, right? Well,
Yeah, right.
150 years, 200 years.
Right.
But yeah, there's
So-
definitely a shortage.
So what's the shelf life? Forever?
A
If I bought a
bullet,
box?
if you buy a box,
Yeah.
it depends on the conditions. It depends on how humid your house is, how damp it is, what the weather's like, because all those things can be detrimental to gunpowder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's
So, I mean, you've seen movies where somebody takes a 12 gauge shotgun shell and they open up the box and they go to test it and they squeeze it and just turns to
Oh.
dust in their hands,
Yeah.
I've never really seen that happen, but
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
imagine there's shotgun shells that don't work because they got moist.
Yeah.
But these days, I mean, some firearms, I mean, they make the bullets so well that you can discharge them underwater. You can't
Wow.
sustain it for a long period of time. Like you couldn't keep the bullet underwater for 6 months and then shoot it. I'm sure it wouldn't work. But,
Yeah. Wow.
but it's kind of interesting. Yeah, but there's definitely a shortage. But from what I understand, this past year, there's been more firearm sales than ever.
Yeah.
Like in every year combined, almost, it's like it's just bam, all of a sudden, just everybody's afraid.
Yeah. And it is what it is. But then on the other hand is how many of these people just going out and buying it, just to buy it. And it's like, I don't know. It's like there's certain people that shouldn't be having them.
That's true. That is definitely true.
Yeah.
It's
like a fad happening, just with the way the world is and stuff. And, there's a shortage on ammo. It just blows me away to think, we're not in a war at all. Yet
Right.
there's a shortage of actual personal ammo. And in the sales, like you said, the sales, I was watching a video on YouTube the other night, and the guy was saying his daily sales were probably like 500% each day compared to a year or two ago. And I'm just, and then they showed his stock. He had nothing left on the walls. He had a couple, rifles, but nothing small and no ammo.
Right. Yeah. It's like that everywhere. I mean, just stepping into a store to pick up a box of bullets or something, I mean, you step in there and you're looking around, it's like, wow, there's nothing here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
No.
It's almost, there needs to be a waiting list.
Yeah. How fast is it? How fast is the turnaround now to go to a store, and to buy a gun? I mean, what's the actual rules? Like let's say me, like I've never owned a gun, but if I'm interested in going to buy one, I would have to go to the store, and then they run a personal background check on you. Then what? It's like weeks I'm waiting.
It's about 8 days.
I actually bought one in the store.
Yeah, like you go in there and you purchase it, and then you wait 8 days.
Oh, 8 days.
Yeah, it's 8 days, and that's how long it was for me. And I had something transferred in. I bought from out of state because they didn't have in state what I wanted. So, I bought from a place in West Virginia, and they overnighted it over here to a store here.
Oh,
And
wow.
then I paid them a transfer fee, which was, I think, $50. And then that
Hmm.
covers my taxes and everything. So I was set. Yeah. So,
Huh.
and then I just waited the 8 days for the background check. And I think it was, yeah, it was on a Saturday. They called me up and go, "Hey, your weapon's ready to pick up." And I was like, "Woo!" Jumped in my truck. I drove across town. Get out of my way.
Yeah.
All excited. But I got my concealed pistol permit and everything and jumped through all those hoops. And that took a while.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get the concealed weapon permit?
Man, you go online and you sign up, you fill out everything, and you pay up front.
Really?
And then you wait.
Then you wait.
And you wait. Because what they'll do is they'll schedule your time to go into fingerprint. Because you got to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's all electronic. It's not ink anymore. It's not like they're rolling your finger. You can
Oh,
do it on
right.
you could do it on your phone if you wanted to, if they were smart. But that's not what they
Yeah.
want. They want you to come to the shop, right? Or to the sheriff's office. So you go to the sheriff's office. But what they do is they go, "Oh yeah, there's no dates available until December of 2022."
Oh, wow.
It's to discourage you from getting one. That's really what it is. It's they put the date so far out for you to get it.
Mhm.
So you can't carry that weapon that you paid for and bought and paid for the license to carry. Well, you can.
Yeah.
You just can't conceal it until that time. Because, Washington state law, you can go into a store and you can purchase a firearm, wait your 8 days for your background check. When you go to pick it up, and it's now in your hand and it's registered in your name, you can walk down the street with it up in the air, and you can walk anywhere you want, full open display anywhere in the state of Washington, and nobody can do a thing about it. You just cannot fire it. And of course, in the state of Washington, if you go walking around, somebody's going to beat you up.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to, "What you got a gun for? You're going to shoot me, boy?" But yeah, but you can open carry. Anybody is, as long as you are not a convict, a felon, or have any reason like you're an illegal immigrant or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you are a legal American citizen in the United States of America, and you're a citizen of the Washington state, or whatever, a resident of Washington state, you can open carry a firearm as long as it's in your name.
Wow.
But the concealed carry is for if you want to put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Or if you want to put it under your seat in your car so
Yeah.
nobody else can see it. That's concealing it. So that's what you pay for, which basically it means you're paying for the security that somebody's not going to steal it from you. That's really what it is.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're dumb enough to leave it in your car, you're kind of dumb enough to get it stolen. So hopefully this wasn't a waste of your time. Hopefully you've had some fun here.
Oh no, I had some fun. I always love talking.
Yeah. Well, you'll always be welcome back. So if you ever want to come back and talk to us some more. Yeah. Well,
one thing Brian and I was going to say, we encourage but don't promote is the consumption of sake during the interview.
Sake.
Oh yeah, the little eraser from the blackboard of life.
Oh boy, I guess so. Yeah.
But Brian has this bladder buster bottle that he's been
wow,
pretty big.
Yeah, and mine is actually not what's. Oh, look at this, my green
screen.
There it is. Wait, I gotta turn it now. Oh wait, it's Monster Hydro, but it's not. I actually bought it only for the bottle, and then I stick my own water in it.
You make your own water, Mike?
Yes, I make my own flavored water. Cold gin.
No, right on. Your heater's broke, right? And you're so tired. Do what?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I was thinking. So, not part of the show, but I'll make you really jealous, Mike. Back in 1977. I went with a family friend to a KISS show.
Love Gun Tour.
So
it was 77 would be.
Was it 77? Yeah. And AC/DC opened, as in Bon Scott.
Wow.
And the guy I went with was a session player, bass player in Memphis, where I grew up, and he knew some of the security and convinced them this was my last first and last concert because I was dying of leukemia. So I got backstage and hung out with Kiss and AC/DC in '77. And what's sad is now that I'm in my late 50s. God, I don't remember 1 minute of that encounter except that it happened. It's so
Wait,
embarrassing.
You didn't have an iPhone back then?
I don't even think calculators were a thing yet.
Wow.
No,
man.
yeah, and somewhere I still have my tour t-shirts and the big gatefolds concert booklet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and beautiful photography, really glossy, heavyweight paper. But yeah, so that was, you saying Love Gun reminded me. I was like, oh man, that was no, the Cold Gin. You said Cold Gin.
Yeah, Cold Gin, yeah.
I do remember lots of explosions, like lots of explosions.
There was a lot
Not
of
on a
fire
Rammstein level, but
right.
I think they
Kiss-
had, lots. Their name was in lights and blinked quickly by the letters. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that tour, the 77 one, was probably the most dramatic stage show at that time, for sure.
Yeah,
and,
that
and
was
just to think, 1977, they were doing those fire blasts. Those had to be sketchy.
no doubt. Yeah,
I mean,
no doubt.
Well,
seriously.
Gene, I think Gene did one out of his mouth too.
He breathes
Yeah.
fire, and yeah.
And he caught his head on fire once.
He
or
caught his
twice.
head on fire once. Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
I think
totally
there's
did.
video. Isn't there video on YouTube? I think
Mhm.
it was like 1975 or 74. And
Right. Yeah.
he didn't even know. He didn't even know his hair was on fire.
Somebody come run up behind
Yeah,
him.
the guy
Pulls
comes
it out.
run out and throw a towel over his head.
Right.
I think the
Can you
funniest.
imagine that? You're sitting there like, oh yeah, and your
That was
head's on
awesome.
fire. You have no clue.
I think the funniest pyrotechnics gone wrong was the story about Blackie Lawless.
Mhm.
Have you captured an incident like that on stage? Like, oh my God, that Michael Jackson's on fire.
No, but I have a shot when I was shooting Corn, and I believe, it had to have been Monkey. It had to have been Monkey, and he was swinging around with his guitar, right, in a 360, just kind of going around. And I swear he thought he didn't know where he was at that moment, because when he swung around the second time, that flame came out, and I was right there, and I caught the shot, and you could just see his guitar, like the guitar strap is out here and the guitar's out there, and he's like, he could feel the flame, so he was going one way and his guitar was going the other.
One thing I wanted to do before we wrapped everything up is I wanted to ask you if people wanted to book you so that you can make some money, how do they reach you?
You hit me up on Instagram or Facebook, just private message me there. It's easy. I'm like,
Just
look
by
up-
your name?
just
Yep.
Mike
Oh, yeah.
Savoia. Okay.
Yeah, just Iron Mike Savoia. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and Savoia Photography Live is the pages for the concert stuff on Instagram and Facebook. So, but if you connect on any of those pages, you're gonna find me intertwined with the other places. So
Excellent. And I'll go ahead and put links and stuff on here.
okay,
and
cool.
stuff. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully we'll be able to get you some business or something.
Yeah, things should start being, start kicking up again. Nationally, let's hope. I don't know about local music. I really don't know what's going on with that anymore. So let's just hope we can get into a summer and actually be halfway normal.
And I do have a parting question.
Mhm.
Your nickname Iron,
Mhm.
what's up? Are you like Iron Fist or?
I used to work with the band Sugar Ray, And on their very first album, on the Lemonade and Brownies CD, they had a song called Iron Mike, and it was for Iron Mike Tyson.
Oh,
But once I started, friends with the band and work with the band, then they just started calling me that. And so it's caught on. And so it was a VH1 show. I forget what it was called, Fan Fest or something like that. But anyways, they featured me on that. And so I had my 15 minutes of fame on VH1, and then when they showed that, that's when the whole Iron Mike thing became permanent when all the fans saw that. And so it's helped. It's, it gives me a little different identity in the concert photography world.
Mm-hmm.
Besides
Right
being
on.
weird.
Well, thank you so much, Iron Mike, for
Yeah,
your time.
thanks
Excited to meet. I
thanks for
haven't
having
met
me on.
you. Nice to meet you. Brian, of
Yeah.
course, already knew you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Well-
So cool. Thank you guys.
Yeah,
Cheers,
man. I'm
thank
sure
you.
we'll work together again.
Oh yeah. All right. Talk
All
soon.
right, brother. Have a good one.
Later.
Enjoy.
Alrighty.
Bye-bye.